You know the exact physical sensation. Your stomach drops, your chest tightens, and your heart rate spikes. It is the immediate biological reaction to sudden pressure. This reaction is triggered by two very different events. It hits you when you are staring down a red past-due utility bill, and it hits you exactly the same way when you are casually scrolling past a peer's milestone purchase on your timeline. To understand why we react this way, we look at two distinct layers of financial stress. Tier 1 is absolute security. This baseline response is the alarm that fires when you face a threat to your shelter, food, or safety. We often treat a threat to our social standing with the same intensity we use to manage a threat to our survival. When we can't distinguish between a bruised ego and a lack of food, we lose sight of the actual root of our anxiety. This second layer is relative status, the specific distress caused by feeling you are falling behind peers. Tier 2 works as a multiplier. It layers social comparison onto standard survival stress, expanding that original pressure until it feels unmanageable. Social comparison makes enough a moving target. You finally reach the income level you thought you needed to be safe, only to see someone else upgrade their lifestyle, leaving you feeling instantly behind again. If your definition of peace depends on outperforming the people around you, you've entered a race with no finish line. The math simply doesn't allow for a lasting state of rest. Breaking this cycle requires us to step away from these comparative metrics and find a different way to calculate our worth. This exhausting cycle isn't a modern flaw of the digital age, it's an ancient trap. Psalm 37 directly addresses this dual threat of status and security. Verse 1 commands us not to fret because of those who do wrong, or be envious of them. This suggests envy distorts our perspective, compromising our ability to judge actual value. We make a massive calculation error. We compare our private struggles to someone else's highlight reel, ignoring the character flaws they may have used to build it. Verse 35 captures the temporary power of this falsely acquired status. I have seen a wicked and ruthless man, flourishing like a green tree in its native soil. But this prosperity is fragile. By verse 36, that ruthless man is gone and cannot be found. Basing your security on relative status is an investment in an illusion that eventually fades. If status is an illusion, how do we address the primal fear of that first tier, the need for absolute security? Verse 16 offers a counterintuitive principle. Having very little with integrity is superior to having vast wealth without it. The study notes here describe fretting, or obsessive worry, as a destructive emotion. Insightful, we fret because our ego is trying to force a guarantee. We are essentially attempting to exert control over outcomes that we have no power to sustain. This frantic need for control is a signal. It suggests we don't actually believe that a higher power is managing our needs. Lasting stability isn't found in a growing list of assets. It's found in a state of divine peace, remaining even when assets are few. Managing a system you cannot control is an exercise in futility. The alternative is to transfer the burden of your survival to something capable of guaranteeing it. This requires moving away from the exhaustion of self-reliance and leaning into a state of total dependence. Verse 5 defines the central action for this shift. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust in Him, and He will do this. This commitment means bringing your personal finances under His direction and looking to His provision for what you actually need. This act of submission addresses both layers of anxiety. It quietens the survival panic of Tier 1 and removes the need for the status games of Tier 2. Societal status will always have shifting goalposts. Divine security provides a fixed point of reference. Verses 39 and 40 offer a final reassurance. The salvation of the righteous comes from the Lord. He is their stronghold in time of trouble. This safety requires taking refuge in Him. There is a profound release in stopping the race for status. It is the sensation of exhaling deeply and standing completely still while the crowd continues to rush past you. When we stop measuring our worth by our peers and trust this ancient blueprint instead, the anxiety loses its power. True peace becomes possible.